Good morning, and welcome to Redeemer Lutheran Church. I'm Pastor Gary Lodeholt. It's probably one of the most significant passages about heaven in the Gospels, but my guess is that most of us have never really understood it that way. This week after All Saints Sunday, as we have remembered those who have died and have entered the church triumphant and are with God forever, we are talking together about heaven and what it may be like. Yesterday we talked about dwelling with God and God dwelling directly with us. And today we want to consider how heaven is a place of peace and love. Now, it's probably not a surprise to you that most of us think of heaven as a place of peace and love. What may be surprising is the Bible passage I want to use to point to that. In Luke 23, we have the story of Jesus being crucified. It's a gruesome story, and in fact, an excruciating way to die. You may never have noticed how the root of the word crucifixion can be found in that word excruciating. That's how bad this form of execution was. It's violent, an act of hate, agonizing pain, scorn, and derision. You might say that a person being crucified is about as far away from a place of peace and love as one can get. Often, we are so focused on Jesus and what happens to him on the cross that we pay little attention to the others who were crucified with him. There was a thief on the cross to his left, as well as one to his right. As the priests and people jeered at Jesus and taunted him to come down, one of those thieves took out the pain he was feeling on Jesus too. He lashed out, calling on Jesus to save himself and them too if he were the Son of God, which is, of course, one way of making fun of Jesus and saying that he was not. The other thief, however, well, this is how Luke tells it. But the other thief rebuked him, saying, "Do you not fear God, since you are under the same sentence of condemnation? And we indeed have been condemned justly, for we are getting what we deserve for our deeds. But this man has done nothing wrong." Somehow this thief saw through the red haze of his pain and the dark shadows of the life he had lived, and while he may not have been sure Jesus was the Son of God, he could tell that Jesus was a good person at least, and did not deserve what was happening to him. Then this thief turned to Jesus and humbly said, "Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom." And even in the depths of his pain, his love was deeper still, and Jesus said to the thief, "Truly I tell you, today you will be with me in paradise." What does paradise mean to you? Webster defines it as a place or state of bliss, felicity, or delight. My definition might be a place or state of peace and love. Isn't that what we so long for? I think how this passage points to heaven as paradise is caught up in the ordeal that Jesus and the thief are enduring. We don't have it nearly so bad, but still so much in our lives can indeed be an ordeal, and we hope and long for better. So much in our lives is marred by contention and strife, violence, division, and even war. We are surrounded by suffering on all sides, and perhaps the thief's cry is our own. "Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom." We yearn for Jesus to remember us, to take us away from the daily rigors we find ourselves in. The pain of life becomes an ache for something better, for a state of peace, for living in the way of love. And Jesus looks at us and says, "Today you will be with me in paradise. Today you will be with me." That's good enough. But even more, we will be in paradise, that place of peace and love. It's just what we hoped and longed for. Our world is so much less than what it can be, than what it is supposed to be. Heaven is every answer we hope for and more. Heaven is a place of peace and love. You are remembered. Thanks for watching, and remember to let this day belong to God.